For us to operate in an optimal way, health is very important. When you're not healthy, however willing you are or committed you are, you cannot be able to perform in the best way that you would have. Now, it is always said, and I agree, that there is no health without mental health. However, at the mention of mental, a number of us lose it at that point. Today we are going to talk about mental health vis-a-vis mental illness. And before we get to the illness, let us look at mental health. Mental health is just well-being. You know, when you are eating, when you are feeding, you sometimes, and most of the time, most of us are conscious about how we eat, what time we eat. Why? Because we want the best from that food. It is the one that will give us the health that we require for us to operate and perform optimally. Now, in our normal operation, there are challenges that we meet. Things will not work out the way we would always want. There will be different challenges. People will disappoint us. Situations will disappoint us. We will not be able to meet deadlines, or we will have deadlines that are a bit more stressful. And as a result of that, it goes to our mental, because it's our brain that is functioning. Now, the brain has a way that it functions that we may not be able to push it beyond the way it operates. And therefore, mental health, sometimes when we don't understand it, then we lose it and we'll end up with mental illness. So let's talk about mental health. And mental health is, let's look at the well-being, how we can be able to manage and help our brain manage the situations that we experience, so that we can minimize it. We can minimize situations of depression, anxiety disorders, stressful situations that will come our way, anger management. Yes, how we can be able to manage our emotions. And therefore, for that reason, especially for the men, we have situations where men are pushed to the corner because of the mental situations that they are there. Suicidal thoughts and behaviors. And also substance abuse, which are part of coping mechanisms when we get so stressed. Now, suicide cases are on the increase. And statistics have shown that 70 to 80% of the suicide cases are of men. Now, this is worrying. So we need to look at, why are men more prone to suicide and mental health issues? And one of the things is the cultural expectation. There's a lot of expectation, the pressures that men go through from the society, from family relations, marriage situations, family, finance, work-related issues. We have targets that we need to meet. We put ourselves, or we find ourselves in situations that then it is not easy to manage. Many a times when this happens, most of us, and because of that stigma, we blame ourselves, or people will blame us. People will think that we are weak. But you see, some of these things are conditions that are beyond our control. Some of the reasons will be biological. That is what our depression or our stress levels will come from, the biological. It is genetic. See, we cannot be able to, and we are not saying we are mad. It's only that the way our brain is able to process the neurotransmitters imbalance, that is the imbalance between of the serotonin or dopamine and such. When there is an imbalance, then our brain will send messages, and there will be a breakdown in a way or another, and therefore stress levels will come up. Others will be psychological. Maybe we have gone through trauma in the past, and you see, our brain makes us to who we are. So if I have gone through trauma, if there are situations that I went through as I was growing up, they knitted my brain, they connected my brain in a certain way. So at a later stage, for me to be able to manage, then it's not just about me. There are external factors that have caused me to do this. So I should not get worried. Some of the situations that we go through could be as a result of social or the environmental, what is happening around us, things that are happening around us. It could be out of a chronic illness. You see, it could be as a result of death of a loved one. It could be out of an accident that I had, and I always get effects when I enter a vehicle, that kind of thing. So most of the times, let us not hit ourselves hard enough. These things are normal. They happen to everyone. We only are able, or we only do them at different limits and at different levels. So let's not allow us to be pushed. Situations, when they come in, we need to know, how do I moderate? How do I mitigate this? Because I have a brain that has to function. I have a brain that I cannot force it. I have to understand it and then contain in the way that it is. How many times do I take off, for instance, to go and rest? How many times do I take off to demystify that effect, to go and look for somebody that I can share with? And openly, yes, share with. Because let's look at it this way. Would I rather die of stress or be embarrassed because I've shared with somebody? And that sharing is actually, they say it is caring, but it's also that problem that is hard the minute I share it. So I need to look at, where do I go? Sometimes some of us have run to churches, and it is good. It is good for you because God created you. God knows your brain. It's good that you have a relationship with God, with your Creator, who understands you. Now, when I talk about a relationship with God, let's be very careful because some of us have run to churches, have run to certain ministries or miracle forming and whatever, and we've been hurt there. We've been misguided there. How have we been misguided? Because we have been misunderstood. Sometimes you are told you are not a Christian enough. Sometimes you are told you don't pray enough. Sometimes you are told you don't have faith enough. That's why this is happening. It's not about that. God is there and He created you. And if God will help you, if you embrace most of the situations that they are there, then you'll be able now to walk out. So let's be cool. Let's embrace, let's take off physical health. Physical health, the fitness. Some of us are just even having eating disorders. You have given up on yourself. You're just, even the way you groom yourself. No, man. Wake up. Dress. Right? Look at yourself at the mirror. Look at that guy in the mirror. Talk to that guy and tell him, today we are better than yesterday. Right? Other people may not see you, but I'm seeing you. You are great. Talk to that person if other people are not talking to you. And move out in a stronger way. Be positive about life. Challenges will be there. You are not the only one. Everyone has the challenges. And when that happens, we can be able to do it in a certain better way. And finally, to the community, let us support one another, and especially the men. It's not easy. It's not easy when the men have to hold up everything. It's not easy when the men, every other aspect is on them, it's on heavy of them, perceived or real. It's not easy. And finally, men, let us seek help. Going to a counselor, going to a psychiatrist for help is not a weakness, it is strength. The strength of a man is one who takes care of his health. And remember, we are saying mental health is part of it. So, men, it's your body, it's your mind, it's your health. Take care of it.